All right. Uh, all right. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Firstly, thank you, everyone, to take out your time this morning and be here present for this session. How to prepare yourself for a job, 10 skills that will double your salary in the first 2 years. I'm making a big claim, but I hope I back it up in my next in my next 20 minutes. So here's the agenda. It's a 1 hour session. For the first 20 minutes, I will share the 10 skills. You might already know the skills that I might be talking about, but what I will share with you today is how to create more opportunity using those skills, like the application of it, and how it will help you to increase your salary. So how to utilize the skills and create more chances for opportunity, and then you go ahead and make money out of it. So that's pretty much the agenda. After that, I have 5 examples, and where I will ask from you which example you want me to share, and I will share a couple of them. And the later part of it, which is 30 minutes, it's Q&A session, which is, I think, would be the important part of it, because you might have many questions regarding how to prepare for the job, and I would be happy to answer all of them. So if you want this to be a participating session, can you type one in the chat if you have access? Let's see if people can type one in the chat, just to make sure if we are okay. Cool. So if you don't want participation, you can type two, but if, all right, there are a lot of ones. So it will be an interactive then session. So already I have been introduced, so I will not introduce myself again, but I want to tell you that I have a passion project this year to actually give out 100 internship. I will talk about it later, how that idea works out, and if anyone of you are interested in to join that, it's open for all right. So this is the first skill, and I think your professors, you already have one of the subject covering it. But what I want to highlight here is the reason why communication is important in the IT field, for at least to our for the people who will find job, especially from our college, is because currently, especially after post pandemic, everyone knows the tech industry is booming, and in India specifically, the IT sector is growing, and there is a plan to make it a $1 trillion economy only for India. So just to put your context to it, India is currently, if I'm not wrong, it is uh, the fifth largest economy in the world, and its overall GDP economy is somewhere around 3 trillion, and the aim is to take it to 5 trillion. And out of that, one fifth is IT services. They are trying to take that as an industry for 1 trillion. So we will contribute to one fifth of India's GDP. Okay, so just try to understand it. And when it comes to IT sector, the money is so much because we will do mostly services for a foreign based company. That's where the whole equation works out. And as you already know, they talk in English, they write in English. So that is the reason you need to understand why your written and verbal communication is should be improved. And just to give you a context here, like, my English is not so strong. You might see that I'm confidently speaking right now, but it still can be improved. If my English would have been better, my net worth would have been doubled by now. So that's pretty much my assessment. So that's why communication is one of the skill that you need. The second one is attitude. Now, first of all, a good attitude will automatically increase your confidence at work, because people try to associate themselves with more positive people, or the people who can contribute more, add more value to it. The reason you need a attitude, so what opportunity does it create, is whenever there is a challenging project or a project that has some good exposure to it in terms, and I'm talking about projects in the office. So in office, everyone doesn't work at the same level of project. Everyone gets different projects. So if your team lead, or if the owner of the company, or if the founder of the company is working on a very interesting project, she or he would always want people with good attitude to join them. So that is why you being always expressing your positive or good attitude at work will attract a good opportunity for you. So that's why this is number two skill that you would find useful. The second one is initiative. So I have another story to share, but as ma'am started it, she always likes the initiatives that I take, and it has a testimony that she addressed that, and I'm very grateful for it. Now, why do I do it? Is because I find that when you take initiative, you learn. It's always that's the case. And what happens, like for you, why it is important for you to take initiative is, first of all, what is an initiative? An initiative is something that no one asks you to do, but you go ahead and do it. Okay. So firstly, in the job world, people don't do what they are been told to do. So that's a different problem. But suppose in that environment, if there is one person who reaches out to the boss or to colleague and takes an initiative, or offers an help, or works on an idea, and that would be always been appreciated, or at least recognized, like the ma'am did for me. So it need not to be a big work for me. Like my schedule is pretty big, my calendar is full for the rest of the day, but in the beginning of the day I took this 1 hour and put it out and tried to do it. Now what it also kind of, you don't have to do something very large, but a very small gesture or a very small initiative can be done. And as a student, when you start your job, you can take initiatives which is only of asking someone, can I do this task? And that task can be only of maybe taking 2 hours of your whole month. So that's not too much of a time, but that's also an initiative. It doesn't have to be a big bang project or a very massive effort. Initiatives can be small, and if there is an outcome to it, and if there is a result to it, you can uh, elaborate it, or you can do it for multiple times. So that's why initiative would be your third skills that I think could be useful for you. This one is a big one. You are in a IT industry, so you are basically an enabler to every other industry. We solve problems, we solve business problems, and make it more efficient, faster, cheaper, better. So, so like a lot of students or even my team member asked me how to solve problem, or how they can learn to better solve better problems. And one of my advice to them, and that I have practiced, is the way to do that is come up with ideas during the brainstorming session. Whenever there is a discussion, come up with the idea. Now the second question would be, how will you come up with those ideas? So you start with bad ideas. Okay. So every person, before coming with one good idea, they have 9 bad ideas, and that's how they come up with one good idea. So you have to take that, again, the older skill of initiative, to come up with a bad idea. And you will always come up with a bad idea before you start uh, coming up with a good idea. So uh, that's what the problem solving you can improve. So you always have to think about idea. Don't worry if it's a good or a bad, and come up with a bad idea, and slowly and steadily you will improve and come up with a good idea. So that's the next skill is teamwork. So this is an African proverb. If you want to go fast, you have to go alone, and if you want to go far, you have to go together. So what it means is, if you want to achieve something big, you can't do it alone. You need a team. So every time if there is a successful company, there is a massive team standing behind it. So you always have to consider. I'll tell you a story about one of my senior leader at L&T Infotech has told me. Uh, like the L&T as a company works closely with Japan because of the manufacturing work that they do, and we were working on one of the they were working on one of the IT project to it. So the people from Japan uh, told this to my senior leader was like, to Indians, if I give one task to one Indian, that person will do it very nicely, very dedicatedly. But if I give a task to a team, the team doesn't perform. So that's pretty much the world view of Indians across the world. Okay. And I don't know if it is true, false, or what, but I have in my work also seen when I ask two people to work together and come up with something, then they are not able to work together as a team. But if I give individually, you do point 1 to 5 and you do point 5 to so 6 to 10, then they do it nicely. So you have to cultivate the habit of how to work in the team. And college is, I think, is the best stepping stone. Whenever there is a group project, don't try to be the hero, or uh, don't try to do it single handedly, because you will not be able to learn the skill there, because single handedly you can also work at home alone. But the reason you have been put it in a group, so that when you go into office, you have to work in a group. Because if a project has 1 lakh line of code, you are not going to write the entire 1 lakh line of code. You will only write 50,000 line of code, and there will be other 9 people who will be there, and your code has to talk to their code. So you have to learn this, helping each other or working together as a team. So that is also an important skill. So those are my first five. Are you finding it useful? If just type yes in the chat. If you are finding it useful, type yes, or if you are still there with me, not sleeping, great. Okay, at least I have many yeses. So I'll continue. So those are my first five. I'll quickly run to the next five now. This one is, I think I'm not sure if you know this thing, critical thinking. I'm not sure if you know what it means. And it, this session is not the right place to it. But the reason I brought it out, it's a bit of a complex topic, but this is very important. Nobody teaches us, and for problem solvings and for initiatives and for other things, this kind of becomes the building block or the foundation of it. It actually improves one process of thinking. So whenever you have to do brainstorming, whenever to come up with the idea, and whenever, so that is where your how to think is something that you have to learn. So what I will suggest you for doing this is, you go on YouTube and type critical thinking and watch 10 hours of video, okay, just to get your head around this concept. Okay. And I will, because you don't, most of you might not know what is critical thinking, so there is no point sharing you the opportunity of it. Just trust me on this one, and just go ahead and binge watch 10 hours of critical thinking video, and try international videos. It will help you to also read, hear your com skills, because when you listen to a foreign accent or foreign speech, then it's good for you to understand that language. Most of us find it difficult. I used to find it very difficult. Now, after almost 16 years of working with international clients, I pretty much am able to understand their accent. This one is a very interesting one, calculated risk. And I'm sure you might have not, nobody have told you to do this, but I would, whenever you join a job, you are at the minimum risk. Like, there is zero risk for you, is what I would say. Like, there is nothing to lose as such. The job is pretty much your, people will not straight away fire you. They will always give you chance, and the first 3 months will be always a training period. So what I would request you to do is, you take a calculated risk. So I'll give you one example what how you can do that. Someone is can you put yourself on mute, please? Yeah, thank you. So uh, sorry, I lost my chain of thoughts here. So the calculated risk that I can offer you is, while you're working, either on the evenings or on the weekend, try to find uh, a different skill job. Like, for suppose you are in IT, so you will be either doing coding or testing or business analyst or data analyst or some kind of those kind of a job, or a UX designer and stuff. So find a vertical, either marketing or presentation or public speaking or some kind of a skill which is aligned, it is not directly linked to your job, and find a volunteer job in NGO and do a job of it. So that could be one thing. Or you can develop your personal brand. So these are zero risk because your boss will not stop you from doing that. Or you can help some of your friends and or your family members or some uncles who are in business, help them build their social media platform or something which is related to tech or IT but is not directly related to your job. The reason to take this kind of a risk is you will double your knowledge during the same period. So whatever you are doing, just by doing a little bit extra on a different tangent completely, could help you do that. You can kind of reach out to any co-founder and ask to be their weekend assistants or some kind of a role that is very uh, non-linear, and then the risk is almost zero there. Okay, there might not be earnings, but there might be learnings. So that's my uh, seventh, I guess, and this one is the eighth one, empathy. uh, I'm not sure if you have ever heard about this word also. And you can google it up for understanding the meaning of it. But in a layman's term or in a common term is to understand the other person. Okay, and see from their point of view. There is a phrase called as put yourself in someone else's shoe, but you have to practice it daily at work, because especially in the remote work faction right now, people are not seeing each other. They have to work together. The most screen time is this, like this call. In most of the cases, the videos are off, like most of yours are off. So you have to find out signals and try to empathize with them and try to understand their situation while working. The reason for that is it will reduce friction. And the way the trends are going, there are top IT companies who are selling their buildings, their physical offices in Bangalore and Mumbai. So they have done that post pandemic. So the whole coming back to office is also kind of seat sharing basis. So at any given point in time, there will be only 30% of people who will be at office. Not everybody will be at office. So all this information you might know, you might not know, because you have so it depends. So you have to be empathized with how the future work might be a more digital work than you might think. It's physical, like your current college situation and your online college festival and stuff like that. So that's how it is. So empathy is a key thing, and that you have to kind of start developing. You can start developing, and all these skills you can do during your college time. Okay, and it might take time, but it doesn't take too much of effort. And at the end, I will tell you the only problem with this is you can't learn them, you have to do them. And I will give you an opportunity and show you how you can do them and practice them in day to day, so that you can become for next whatever. If you're in first year, you have 3 years to develop them, so on and so forth. The second last is accountability. uh, so you will be trusted more when you do whatever you are committed to do. Okay, so for example, right now in the beginning of this whole exercise, there was some artwork going on, and you are not expected to do an artwork in this kind of settings, like where a guest lecturer is coming, who is coming from an industry. Your reputation is on the line, and you are just demolishing your reputation. You are not expected to do that. So similarly, when you are going at your work, there are certain things you are not expected to do, and there are certain things you are expected to do. Is to listen, is to follow the instructions, and you commit to some work. And after doing that, if you don't deliver it, then the trust of your leaders to you will be diminishing. And what happens because of that is the people who deliver what they have committed to do would always find their way to get more opportunity, and in turn they will get better salary in the future, and they can ask for increment, and they can ask for uh, pay hike. This is very important. Accountability, very scared resource. Like it's in deficit. Like If I hire 10 people, I only find 2 people out of 10 people who are accountable, who with whom I can entrust, like they will do most of the time whatever they have been said to do. Okay, so this is a very important one. The last one, the 10th one, is managing time. I know this one everyone tells about you, but the opportunity that I'm going to maybe show you a different light is time is pretty much a fuel to doubling your productivity. Okay, now I'm coming back to the crux of this whole session that I've given. So I will, in the next slide, I will tell you exactly what uh, this session is all about and exactly how you can double your salary in the first 2 years of your job. And this is where you have to prepare. And the time is pretty much the fuel. So what happens is, to understand this, so you have whatever 10 hours of time, and you produce X amount of output or X
खाना देखा
amount.
मला
Yes,
हाँ
Rohit, can you please mute yourself?
ये हैंगा फैला के खाई जला
All right. Sorry for that. Very nice interaction between the. All right, let's get back. All right, so managing time. So let's understand, if there is 10 hours and you produce X amount of output. So in 10 hours, if you put X amount of output, if you are managing your time and you can do that in 5 hours, so what happens is automatically in 10 hours, you will 2X your output. Are you understanding? So you are doubling your output. That means you are doubling the result. That means you can claim a a salary and 100% increase in your salary. Okay, so that is the formula firstly. And in the next step, I will show you how what you can do that increases your chances of doubling your salary in the first 2 years. Okay, now is the maximum time to participate. So let's see if, so this is a recap for those who want to see, take a screenshot or anything. Now what I want you to do is, if I've already asked you to do to install Twitter on your account. So if you want to know the step or the practical step to exactly how you can increase your chances of doubling your salary, go to the Twitter account, in the search my account and type yes. So I know it's a bit of an effort, but if you think it is worth knowing how to double your salary, I want to know if people are tweeting me and telling yes on Twitter. So I'm not sure any of your speakers in the past would have asked you to do that, but it's something new. Let me see if how many you are firstly concentrating or at least listening, and can they do that right now. I'm not sure if you're watching it from mobile, how you do it, but yeah, that's a skill. I'll just wait for 1 minute sharp. So it's 12:03. On 12:04, based on if I get at least one tweet, I will tell. Or so I'm not getting any tweets. So if I need to know, you have to tag me. So you go to my profile and hit the tweet button. So my name should be there. Otherwise, you can tweet. You don't. You're following me. That's good. But I want tweet. I don't. So, okay. Some Dharmit Shah is interested. He says yes or hi. Hi. Okay. Okay. Ankit said yes. Okay. At least I am Taksh Wagela telling me yes. All right. Okay. Hi everyone. All right. So yes, you are interested. So listen carefully. It's just the trick is very simple. It's an hack. So what you do is, as soon as you join a job, don't do it on the first day of the job. It will be a bit overconfidence kind of a thing. Just be at your job for a month. Okay, take an assessment of how the work is and how people are around. Are they receptive or how it is? After a month, you will get an idea of how the environment is. You will also settle down. After 1 month, what you do is you set a 10-minute meeting with your boss. Okay, and in that meeting, you go into the meeting. So once you accept it, and maybe set the title is my career progression. Okay, just as mentioned, as don't mention about doubling your salary, just mention the meeting of career progression. You go into the meeting and first you explain the boss, my current role are this, and this. This is my expectation. These are my output that you are expecting from me uh, in each and every department or each and every activity. Is there anything that I've missed, or is there anything that you want to add as my role and responsibility and my outcome? So you first understand that whatever your job you're doing it properly, and the output that is expected is fine. So they will pretty much share you, okay, so they understand, okay, you are kind of doing your own self check, self assessment. So they will do that. So once you do that activity, it will take 5 minutes maybe, and then after that, you ask this question to them. Say, suppose, sir, I do all this, okay, and if after 2 years, if I want to double my, so you don't tell I want my salary to be doubled. You tell them, if I want to double my salary, apart from doing this, what extra or what additional activity that I need to do or accomplish, or only if I do this, is it good enough for me to double my salary? So what you're telling is, you have told my rules and responsibility. If I follow this for the next year, will my salary be doubled? So the person will tell you, yes, it will double or it will not double. If they say yes, it will double, good. You know that doing that activity will double your salary. So whatever your salary is, it can double. And then if it is not, then you can ask and see that what all extra or what all other things that you need to do to make sure that. So what we are doing is, we are, what it is called as expectation management. So you're expecting from the get expectation, setting your expectation right from the get go, so that in the 2 year you do that. Now what you have also have to do is, every quarter you have to do this career meeting again and again, and have to check with your boss. Okay, in the last meeting we decided these are all the things, and you are progressing, and continuously take feedback, and you will come to know, like within 2 years your salary will be doubled or not. So that's pretty much your hack, and that's, I hope that was valuable, and you can say yes if it was. And that's the reason you joined this particular morning session. So that's my hack. Because the session is recording, I will put it online and tweet about it today itself. So you people who are following, they can watch it back, and if you have further questions, they can ask. Let's move on. So these are my 5 examples, and I can share an example of some of the skills that people are either getting an opportunity or not getting an opportunity. So these are my team members. They have done something, and I will tell you a story about it. So what I want you to do now is, in the chat, uh, tell the number, which story you want. If you want story number 1, you can type 1. If you want story 2, you can type 2. So you can do that in the chat here. Okay, some as I got. All right. So whichever has the maximum votes, that's I feel on the running chat. I see 1335 3. Ankit, there are only 5 options. How can you give 10? There's always one extra smart person. Okay, I see a more of a 3. People want to know my journey with empathy. All right. So I will tell you, this happened during the pandemic. So because everything all of a sudden become remote, and what happened was, I have a mentor. I have many mentors, but I have a technology mentor with whom we sit every week and kind of uh, do a check. So what I ask you to do every quarter, I do every week for myself and my business partner. So one of the thing was, my team was not understanding the idea of better design, a clean code, test driven development, all the uh, techniques uh, that are used in the real world. So they are not able to get that. And I've created a video. I've created maybe 50 odd dojo sessions, and not dojo session, but other videos. The dojo session was the output of the empathy. And my mentor told me that when someone joins a organization, you can't expect the learning curve to be very steep. Like, I also, for personally, I also took some time to learn the new thing. So it's like, when you plant a seed, you can't see the sprout coming out. The roots are working, and while roots are working, you don't see anything up. So what do I? Oh, I just somehow it was a light bulb moment for me. Okay, I thought like, okay, I'd not worry about the outcome, and I will invest 1 year, which was the pandemic year, and we did a whole year training for them. Like it was a very nice coding kata and coding dojo for you don't guys who don't know can Google about it. So we created almost 50 videos. So every week we had 2 sessions and we solve common problems and I kind of take a topic and teach them. So there was an object oriented boot camp and there was a test driven development series. There were clean design, there were refactoring, code smell. So there were all these topics that I wanted the people to understand. And what happened suddenly of all that continuous learning, the team automatically started developing the skills and now they are showing the output right now. So that's my journey. So that's the story. Do you want me to share another story or should we go to Q&A session? Uh, all right, I think five. Okay. All right, I see a more of a five, I guess. So Akash is a senior developer at our place. So we have a point system in our organization. So basically, the appraisals are point system. So end of the 6 months, you get up a point. Why I say 6 months? Because we have appraisal every 6 months. And certain point you get 25% hike, certain point you get 35% hike. So everything is kind of systemized. So he kind of reached out to me and told me how can I get more points with less time. And I kind of helped him. And within the next month, he applied those things and he got it. So what he did there was he did what I'm asking you to do. So he kind of because we had a system, he knew how to double his income through the system, but the ability to ask your boss like how to improve it my work is some kind of a skill that he anybody could have done, but he did it. We recorded that, and then now for the rest of the team I made everyone mandatory to watch that, because that's how it's helpful, because we are in knowledge business. So it's not hard work, it is always intelligent work. So you have to be very smart about the choices you make. All right, I don't want to go further. We almost are at more than half of the time. So, all right. So, let me tell you how you can practice all those skills. Someone in the comment mentioned practical empathy, which I think, yeah, it has to be a practical empathy. So, the idea that I'm proposing here is not for everybody. Okay, there is only for two kind of people. Firstly, those who are not afraid of trying something new, and firstly those who are curious to learn more to earn more. So what you have to do is you go to vikramshetty.com. If you're on the laptop, on the top right corner there will be an article helping Indian youth become more employable, and it has everything mentioned in it how it works. So that's it. And if you can go ahead, and everything is mentioned there. So I will not explain what it is, what it is about, but what I want to tell you is all this habit. So if you are bad at writing, for example, I was very bad at writing, but now every day I write an article. You can also check that on Vikram Shetty. So every day there is some article out there, and because I've been writing like this, I've written more than maybe 400 articles. I've written a book now. So so because I've wrote for almost now 5-10 years, and the first writing was horrible, but over the period, so you practice it, so you have to do it. So what this idea that I'm talking about is in that article, making Indian youth more employable, is about all these skills and how you can practice it daily and get it done. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me the link on Twitter, or you can find yourself there. So that's it. And yes, times for question. So be selfish. Okay, sir. All right. So the first question is very practical from John. Sir, now onwards, there will be work from home. So how many hours we have to be in front of laptop? A very interesting question. Others, I will ask you to just pour your questions so that I can answer. I will pick this one first. So John, the answer is you have to do the same hours that you've been doing in the office. So, but yeah, the last year things have been different because it was completely new. But I think once things normalized, you have to be 8 hours at work. So that would be there. And especially in tech world, we don't measure hours. Honestly speaking, we are not doing labor work where we are picking up bricks from one place and putting it in another place. That's not the kind of work we do. I mean, the whole IT industry, principally that we are knowledge workers, as they say. So our output is outcome is what is been considered here. So it's never the length of the hour, it is what outcome you product. So the reason why people sit late sometimes, or some people passionately work on the weekend, the reason is that they have a problem that's fixed in their head. They want to solve it, and they kind of try on multiple ideas and see if this work, that works. So it's like a game for them. So yeah, but officially, I think you don't have to work more than 8 hours. And if you are doing a really good work, it will be much lesser than. So yeah, I think 8 hours a job, 8 hours standard working hours. You have to work for 8 hours. That is the standard out there, John. Any other questions? Again, so no more. So Harshvardhan, Harshvardhan, that so he's asking the question: is job better or to start a new startup? So that's a personal choice. I may be qualified to answer that because I've done both. I've done job for 10 years, and for last 7 years I've been doing my own business. It's not a startup, but it's a personal job. It's all depends upon what is your risk capacity. There are many factors. So I need to understand what your background is, and to answer it. So I don't want to prescribe any answer here, but it has multiple factors to it. How much passionate you are in about solving problems. If you want to do a startup, you have to be passionate about solving problems. You have to have that drive in you. You have to have that tenacity of rejection. You have to have ability to go out and sell yourself, ability to public speak. So there are other skills. You have to figure out if you are interested or not. What you can also do is you can start a hobby and see if you are good at it, and then maybe transit to a startup. But see, like with my experience, the people who want to start up don't ask the question. They go ahead and they start up. They don't see the, like, we don't do go into the business to make money, like, just to be very honest. And this is a everyone says that, and it's almost true. If you try to do business to make money, you will we will make money, but you will not make some good money. So if you want to do a startup, you actually have to want that thing to desire to solve a problem, and the byproduct will be definitely money, a massive money. uh, I'm very happy changing from job to business because I have control over my time. I can contribute to students like what I do. But that's my personal choice. That's you have to do your own homework. Where can I see more of your teaching? Okay. So recently I've been uploading more of my things on my YouTube. So what you can do is today when I post this video, you can go there. The recent times there have been couple of really nice videos. One was about job search, especially about job search, and some intern had asked me some question. He was an ex NK student, I guess. So you can find that. Done similar course related to learning code. Yeah. So yeah, my videos are not about programming and C sharp. It's more about other areas which kind of doubles your value because you add more value as an overall person. Apart from that, for C sharp, Python, Java, I think there are brilliant courses out there. I found that student, especially for Indian students, especially for non-IITians or the mid tier, if I say, for them with their kind of deficit in skill, I think there was a gap for them to kind of guide them or have a platform for them to practice something to gain. So I kind of fill in that gap, and pretty much see what ma'am told me that I'm putting my effort here. But what I'm doing also is kind of sharing some of my internal work way, where I can attract more talent also. So this is this is definitely, it's a contribution, but it is not a selfless contribution. There is a at the back end, there is the whole idea is, uh, some of you might find it useful, you might share one of my video, and my future team member is somewhere, one of your friend from other college or from your junior or whoever, find it attractive to join us. So that could be a possibility, but I'm not expecting that to happen. But at least my idea can help you, or whenever you go to another job or anyone, so they might benefit from it. So just wanted to make sure that there is enough information at this college level or student level, so that when they go there, that helps the overall economy, or at least the ecosystem that I play in. So yeah, I want to do coding, but the theory I don't remember. Okay, so this is a very nice thing. So my personal story, you can check my records. I'm not sure if you are have an access, but the first year of my BSc IT, my score were not so good. But in the last year, in one of the sem, I was a top of my class. Okay, so and so my practicals and C and all, I think I've scored almost zero, if I'm correctly. And Java I never understood, but now I'm a pretty good developer. I can claim that. But what happened to me was very interesting. My theory was also not good. I couldn't understand stuff. But what I did was I started with HTML, because it was very simple. That was the first code that somehow fit in my brain. It was, now I can tell, it was a very verbose way of coding. There was no objects in it, and it was slap and out kind of inter. Uh, what you say, it was more like a reader, or a kind of transformation work from the HTML. So I started with something very simple, and then I kind of increased my ability. I started building something. I started creating different images on a web page, square, rectangle stuff. I started doing tables and stuff. So slowly I started building. Then my interest to JavaScript increased, and then somehow in when I learned C sharp, the web services thing hit me, and then I slowly learned my job. So you can start something from very easily, and then you can go up and build up. So how to build a leadership skill and lead a team while being an employee? Okay, Mubarak, that's an excellent question. So this is what I will tell you about the initiative, right? So what you can do is, for example, while you are working, you can take an initiative of not working, but you can take an initiative like what we did. You can take an initiative and help your NK college student in their final exam, final practicals with their projects, because you have their experience of building the project and you know what goes wrong. So you can ask, go back to your professor, lead the team there. The student may or may not listen to you, but that's your learning experience. And we came back after many years, so we already had the leadership skill, or how to kind of maneuver the project and stuff. But you can do that. If you think you don't want to go back to your college, I think it's a very safe place to go back. You, even your lab, you know the place, you know which computer has which problem, and so it's a familiar environment. You go back, while you're working, you can come back and be the leader for your juniors. You might already know few faces, so it's a lot of an easy transition to become a leader. And tick and check if your leadership skills are good. And if someone wants a more bold step, go and be a leader in some of the NGOs where there are students who are participating, or be a part of that team and try to lead some uh, maybe a digital team, try to lead them. So you can find this different places where people need help and time and effort, so you can contribute. So what I'm doing right now is pretty much I'm leading, I don't know how many people are there, maybe more than 200. So I'm doing that. So you can do that. So there are opportunities there. Oh, rejection. That's my favorite, interview rejection. So let me be vocal about it. Uh, so the two stories about rejection. So firstly, I was rejected as a programmer. I think almost with the 7 to 10 years of experience. I don't know exact, but I got rejected from JP Morgan, and I also got rejected from ThoughtWorks. Uh, and ThoughtWorks was one of my kind of, I wanted to work there because of the culture that they had. So I have been rejected from both of them. But the funny story is, I not been rejected from there, I would have not been running my own company right now. Most certainly, it would have been the case. So it's a good thing. So what I would say is rejection is pretty much as a cliche they say, is a part of the life. So there is nothing to take. Okay, and as someone who offers job, you have to understand that the rejection doesn't mean that there is something wrong with you or your skills. Okay, firstly, there is nothing wrong with you as a person, because you are not rejected for who you are. You are rejected because your skills at that time for that company is not a match. Okay, so they want someone with really good JavaScript answer, or maybe in that interview they asked you something about an Ajax of jQuery library, and that particular function you didn't remember, so you got rejected. Because so there can be multiple reasons. The interviewee, like I can tell you, like I have taken till now with my corporate work, and now I might have taken more than 1000 interviews, like in person interviews. Almost, yeah, I can say that, because in the drive I used for the whole day, I used to take interviews for 50 people, 100 people in a day. So you can understand, by the time in the evening you get so tired, like some of the words that the person say, it's not registered, right? So there are multiple factors that comes in. So you have to see it from that holistic point of view, and so there will be rejection, because it's a number game, it's a supply and demand game. There is only two openings and there are 100 options, so you will get rejected. So you have to prepare for it, you have to apply for more jobs, so that your chances of getting job increases automatically, or you can prepare for it beforehand. And you want to know how to prepare for it, one of the videos I've post with that intern, you can check that, and I can show you how you can prepare during your college days, so that at the end of the your uh, tenure of the completion of the BSc or MSc, you have at least 1000 connections to whom you can rely for the kind of job you're looking for. So I can share that later. So rejection will be there. Don't worry about it. It's just it's a pitching game, if you understand. Without a full-fledged degree is what I am concerned about. Shrishti, I'm not sure what that question means. You are studying, so you will have a full-fledged degree when you pass out. So I'm not sure if you want to ask that question again. I would be more than happy to answer. We are almost at 12:30. I will extend a bit if you are interested, or anyone, ma'am can ask me to stop. But I want to address this couple of questions at least. Sir, without English, can we double our salary? Shivam, it depends. Honestly, I know it's a bias answer, uh, but the thing is, let me tell the example of Pooja in one of our person, the first examples. I'll share that as an answer to this. So she is one of our very good developer. Like she is she's the most accountable person, and I've been very vocal about it. I've been sharing it with my team. Like I can depend on her anytime. So she is my go-to person. Only thing is her confidence is a bit low because she is soft-spoken, and she's a soft-spoken person. So that is the reason I'm not able to put her in front of clients, because our client are international clients. They are from UK, Europe, so they can't talk in Hindi. So they have to talk in English. And if what happens is, when your English is not good, your confidence kind of uh, uh, push back. See, for example, if you can try this, you go give an interview, go apply right now. Also, go apply for 10 interviews. You start giving your interview in Hindi. the chances of you getting rejected is very high. I will doubt you will get a job in any of them just by giving the interview in Hindi. uh, and it is nothing wrong with the language as such. It is the market that we are serving. That's the thing. It's like if you go into a certain place, you have to kind. So, for example, if you go to Greece and if you could talk in English also, they will not understand. So that's a barrier, right? So you can't do business there. So your chances kind of drops. But it depends. Like, you can still ask if the same idea, and they might end up telling you, if you improve your English, you might get it. But I think you are in first year, so you almost have 2 years now to improve your English. There are many ways to improve them, so I think you better at least start with broken English, and then slowly you can improve it. Mahesh, there are many books on personal development and self growth. uh, I mean, what I will do is, the name that I recommend is would be Bias. But one of the most popular book right now, it's across by everyone. This one, I'm not sure if you can see. This one is Atomic Habit by James Clear. You can take a screenshot of it or stuff. So this one is a very famous book right now. And the reason I'm recommending this book for you guys is because I've told you 10 skills, and what that book has, it has a very nice framework where you can add one skills, and it will show you how to improve on that skill slowly, not in a rush, and you can apply it for them. So I hope that helps. And CSS and HTML. Yeah, so HTML, CSS, PHP, all are good for any language. Is pretty much good for job interview. There will be job option. What my recommendation would be, you go to Stack Overflow and check the top programming languages. They every year they publish a survey, and pick the top 5, so that your chances of getting more job is more high. For example, right now I can tell the market is the job opening for Python and for JavaScript, which is for JavaScript is for React and Angular, is all time high. And because of Node.js, the JavaScript language has kind of automatically has it's a comeback programming language. So my recommendation is Python and JavaScript as per current market standard. So, but that doesn't mean other languages doesn't have job. Every language has a job, and I'm not even offering the job on Python right now. So I'm offering is C Sharp and JavaScript. So JavaScript, pretty much every languages sticks to it. So yeah, so this is the problem which Mahek says. Sir, in jobs and internship, everyone say you must have experience, but in what way? I think if we have knowledge and if we enjoy work, we can do it easily. Mahek, with all the experience of more than 17, 18 years, just by knowledge you can't do the job. Okay, that is a reality, and if everyone is saying it, there is some truth to it. Okay, uh, and definitely there will be some exceptions, and what they mean is, when you are hired you have the knowledge, but what happens is you need that training of 3 months, 6 months. You only start making money for the companies after 1 year. Okay, so that is what they are telling, and the client expect a certain level of output, and you will give that output only after 1 year for that specific thing. So Mahek, I'll give you a challenge right now. So the article that I mentioned, you have all the knowledge and the skill. Firstly, I mean, it's not a force on you, but if you go to my site and go to that article, making Indian youth more employable. Now I will give you a challenge. Can you find an intern doing one of the activity of that job? So do you have the firstly, you can tweet me and tell me if you are up for the challenge, and do you have the knowledge how to find someone to do that internship, and that internship required no prior experience. Okay, so that the whole framework has been made with no experience, so nobody needs any experience. There's a salary and everything is mentioned there. So can you find someone to do that? If you are up for the challenge, take that challenge, and we will see by which date you will find that intern. Okay, and I can claim you will at least take a month's time to find anyone. Okay, But at the job, for example, if it was a professional job, I wanted somebody to join like next week. And there are experts out there who can do that exactly because they have that experience. Okay. What recruiter expect from a fresher? Like what question? So yeah, Arbas, it's a very standard question that you're asking. And there are already videos. It depends upon the kind of role that you're looking for. So there are existing videos that are, but what actually they are looking is how confident you are, what is your language skills, okay, and do you know your basics right. Always they are always checking for the basics. They are not expecting you to complete the job, but they were checking if you know the programming, if you can write some code, if you can given some task, can you do it on your own, do you have that grit to do the search and get it done. So you have to kind of demonstrate the confidence that once the work kind of given to you, can you do it. Now what smart people, or what most of them, like even I have not done it in the past, but I've seen people who have got the job easily. What they do, they kind of create their GitHub profile with putting out their work out during their college time, so people can check, okay, they have done this work in the past, this is the working code. Some people created videos or stuff. Now it's very simple to do that, so you can demonstrate the work, and that's all kind of adds to your degree, college degree. So they don't want that you have a degree, they want to see if you can make things from your degree. No, I think, Ajal, you don't have to learn all programming languages. That is not necessary. What you're doing during the course is you're checking which programming languages you know, and you kind of are doing the basics right. If you want to score good, you'd have to definitely learn all of them to get marks. But for professionally, during this time, you check which is more inclined. I used C sharp as my language because I found it relatively simple because it has a drag drop kind of a thing. And during that time, there was a opportunity around C sharp, so it was a competition to Java, and pretty much for someone who's not expert as programmer, it was a easy check. So yeah, but the right answer is while you are working, you are not working on multiple language at the beginning, at least to begin with. At the most, you will work with two languages. One will be JavaScript if you are doing a web kind of a development, or if you are doing kind of an Android or iOS development, then even only one languages. All right, let me check the time here. Okay, it's 37. We'll just wrap it up in 5 minutes. Is there for job which important points for interview? So I think I mentioned that what interviewers is looking for. Not really. I'm not pursuing this degree. Oh wow. So we have a guest here. So Srishti, you kind of this is only for the college student. You can hit me up on Twitter. I will check with you what you do and what is your question. What kind of asset we can build while we are doing job before our salary gets there? Oh, excellent question, Rahul. So that is what you have to ask the boss, like what all asset that their company can build while doubling. So if you are talking about a financial asset or like outside your job asset, then you can build your personal brand. You can learn different skills. You can read business books, or understand the domain that you want to get into, and learn about it. So those are the skills that you can develop. You can connect with experts already in that field. So whatever, if you want to do something in blockchain, you should connect to 1000 blockchain experts in the entire world during your college time, and while working also interacting with them, reading articles, reading all the case studies and stuff like this. There are many assets that you can develop that way. For uh, for company also, you can check with your boss and kind of relate what assets that they would be more than happy to do. Like, can you do some projects there on a pet project kind of a thing that can be used and made money out of it? Can you help them boost their social media or online community management thing? Can you help them build their Discord server and kind of attract more like-minded people, be a host, and kind of conduct some of the activities there. So there are uh, the opportunities is unlimited there. Okay, madam has given me permission. But yeah, we will wrap it up by 12:45 because I have other commitments. Yeah, so aptitude, reasoner, verbal questioning is important for MNC. So yeah, MNC has a different ball game altogether. So they have their standard procedures. So yeah, you have to do their follow. So because I'm not sure if all of you will land up in MNC as their first job. Maybe in the lateral you might get into them, but for the smaller job is where I'm kind of telling the opportunity and all these things. So they have their own. So yeah. So how to? So the one thing is you have to practice. So if you're especially talking about English speaking skills, then the best thing to do is practice is to talk. Okay. So firstly, you can talk with your classmates. So instead of talking in Hindi, start talking in English. Watch TED Talks. That's my highly recommended thing. So I'll not ask to watch any like you can. There are other videos also. There are movies and stuff, but I especially recommend TED Talks is because it's very professional and it is small. It has to the point, and you will learn about the world and what all innovative things. So there is a site called as TED.com. Either you can watch TED Talks or TEDx Talks, whatever you want. So you can listen to them and you can see if you have opportunity to present something. So I mean, public speaking is will be the best, but it is I think it's the world's top feared thing. People hate to do that, but if you can do that, that only adds to your skill. So yeah, I was not so fluent when I started. So it's just the practice. So whenever there is an opportunity to address people, to share something, go ahead and do that. Okay. How to practice several. So yeah, so that's very simple, Bhargav. So what you can do is there are public GitHub projects out there. So you understand how to connect to them. You download those code that's publicly available, and they also have contributors. So what you do is you start writing tests for them. What you if you don't know what a test is, you check what is test. So it is also a kind of a program, but it is to check if the code is right or not. So there will be opportunity to write test for them. And what happens is you kind of learn the syntax while doing that and you understand how to engage with this forum. And once you find a bug or something while writing the test, you can request for fixing the bug. So you can start from there. So don't try to do the whole project. You first write the test, you will find a bug and you fix the bug. So that's it. So even if you do that for the first time, you will find a different level of excitement to contribute a big project where there are 5,000 developers working. So I would do that. I would then you can do that slowly for multiple languages, and you can try that. Shrishti, you connect me. I think we might have some opportunity there on Twitter if you're really interested. Ayush, I'm not sure how to stay motivated. I'm not the right person. How to master web development? You practice, Ankit. Again, you can see uh, open source project. When you view a job posting, it required skill mention in or say we still apply. So I think you should apply if you are 71. There's a very practical solution, and I want to put something a highlight here. What happens is I've seen this when I'm hiring people. Right now we are hiring and we are almost scanned 500 applicant. And what happens is the female, the girls don't apply. If they find one role also, one thing is not matching, they don't apply. But the boys will apply even for 50% or sometimes even 10% they go ahead and apply. So that is really bad. But if you are thinking 70 to 100%, you should apply for it and let them decide if you want to reject or don't worry with the rejection. You go ahead and apply. Most of the time, because of the artificial intelligence, the filtering of your application will be done by the system itself. So don't stop yourself. Uh, right. One more you told don't work for money, right? So why to work to double the salary? Work. So when you're beginning, what I mean by you don't work for money is where when you are starting your business. So while you're doing the business, you the aim should or not be just to make money. You have to the aim should be to solve problem, and that will make you money. That's for business, not for job. Job you are going there for making money. You're working for someone else and making their business success. So that is where money. Yes, Mahek, you think money. I also think money is very important, and that's the reason the whole session is all about. If you see the bottom line on the first screen, it's all about doubling your income. I'm not sure if people talk so openly about money, so I'm not against it. I'm with you, and the whole idea of creating opportunity is to make money. But while you are learning to create opportunity, you can't think of money because if there is a skill there, if the product has the quality, automatically the money will come. So that's what I am referring, and that was purely from the business point of view. Yes, you want, yeah, Mehak, you want to take the opportunity. vikramshetty.com, on the type right corner, there is an opportunity. If that fits you, you can take it. If doesn't fit you, then you can't take it. And there are other internship. You can go to internship Shala and apply. And nobody is accountable for anybody. I am not responsible for giving you the job or giving you 100%, any one of you. I have created a framework. If you think that you it fits to you, you can do it. If it doesn't fit to you, be free, don't do it, because the money there is a little less. I will be very explicit about it, but the amount of effort is also explicitly less, because in the month, what I'm asking you to do is not to put more than 10 hours. And some of your MSc IT students are currently doing the internship with me. They are only putting in the month 2.5 hours. That's it. In a month, they are putting 2.5 hours, and 1 hour they are having a monthly review session with me where they are asking their other job related question, and they are getting a personal one-on-one coaching or mentoring, in, if you can say. So they get that as a bonus to it. Yeah, but they are so the value is less, but the time is also less. But the focus there is to learn. So I will emphasize that. And if you think it's too cheap for you, don't take it. I don't. It's not. I it's a personal project, and no, it's not for everyone. India is such a large country. I will find 100 people who find that idea interesting, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some people will find it interesting, some people will not, so that's good with them. Yeah, Taksh, I know about Shark Tank, the original version of the English version. I might have seen almost all the 9 episodes. It is a good starting point. It's entertaining more. It has some business lessons, but you have to think for the business lesson. You have to look for it. So yeah, my personally, yeah, I recommend it. I watched it. So yeah, what should you get for getting AI is a difficult question. I have a thread for it also about data science or data scientist kind of a job. There is a whole email thread. I have been speaking up and explaining stuff there, so you can tweet me and I can share you the link. It will be a bit difficult because there is a certain level of expertise, but there are opportunity there, because we found that there are more than 500 data science interns. We did our research and we found that. Okay, guys, I might have to bounce off. We have exceeded 20 more minutes. And there are 27 questions. The last 27 questions are not there. What I will do is I will save it. Whenever during the week I have time, I will tweet about it with multiple threads. Whatever I understand about it, you can follow me there. I'll put the question and I will try to answer it because of the short of the time. But I am grateful. You almost carried out 40 minutes of Q&A, and still 30 more questions are left, and I hope it was useful. If it was useful, tell me on Twitter this time, not here. Tell me on Twitter, and thank you very much, everyone, for taking your time. And yeah, again, this is my Twitter handle, and this is the website where you will find the internship opportunity. It's an initiative that I've taken. I have a whole year. I will run for the next year also. So I'm not in a rush. Currently, I have 4 interns who are already doing the work, and I interact and run this whole Twitter thing, so whole internship thing from my Twitter itself. And one of the activity, the person doesn't even have a laptop, so She is earning money just by using her mobile and using Twitter. Uh, thank you, ma'am, and thank you for hosting me this. I hope it was useful, and the recording will be up sometime today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It was pleasure having you here and having this insight. I request Raj to formally propose the vote of thanks. Raj, are you here?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Yeah, please.
Thank you, ma'am. The best and beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt by heart. Thank you is once among them. I consider it a great privilege to propose a vote of thanks to today's speaker, Mr. Vikram Shetty, who not only gave us the corporate level lessons but also many techniques, tricks, and tools to implement in our personal life as well. Right from the first slide of accountability and problem solving, critical thinking, and much more. These things we knew this about these words, but never the value of it. We also never knew that how to implement and how to execute. Thank you so much, sir, to give us this valuable time for teaching us. This is not for the first time that Vikram sir is coming here. That might be he is coming for more than 10 to 12 times, but whenever he comes, he come up with different topics, and these topics add up value in our personal, corporate, each and everywhere. So thank you so much, sir. I would also like to extend my vote of thanks to Department of ITCS, Coordinator Dr. Sindhu PM, and our teacher faculties who have given such a good platform for all the students of all F5, SY, and TY students to come here and grab this knowledge. Last but not the least, our technical team, Mr. Umang Raichura, our today's anchor, Ms. Survi Salunke, and our participants who showed their enthusiasm and positive response. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Thank you again. It was really nice for such a good participation. I hope to see you in the Twitter world, and in future, if I have any other topic to share, I will definitely come back and connect with you all. Bye bye. Have a good day.
Bye, sir. Thank you so much. We look
Thank you so
forward.
much, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.